The auctioneer's voice had the practiced rhythm of a man who'd sold 1,000 lifetimes in a single afternoon. Furniture, tools, old electronics, the scattered remains of estates nobody quite knew how to grieve. They all moved through his hands the same way, fast and loud, until the next lot came up and the last one was already forgotten. Marcus Hale stood near the back of the tent with his arms crossed, watching a rusted chest get dragged to the front on a flatbed dolly. It was an old military footlocker, olive drab, steel-cornered, dented along one side like something heavy had fallen on it. A padlock hung through the hasp, the kind with a 4-digit combination, long since unknown to anyone in the room. A strip of masking tape ran across the lid. 2 words in black marker. SGTR Hale. Nobody else noticed the name. Why would they? To the crowd of 30-odd bargain hunters, it was just a locked box of unknowns, and unknowns, in the auction world, were a gamble most people weren't willing to take at more than a few dollars. You couldn't see inside it. You couldn't shake it open. The auctioneer offered no history, no provenance, just military footlocker, locked, sold as is. The bidding opened at $20. A few half-hearted hands went up, $10 at a time, cautious, the way people bet on long shots they expect to lose. When it climbed to $50, most dropped out. At $65, a woman in a sun hat shook her head and tucked her paddle under her arm. At $70, it was only Marcus left, his hands steady in the air. $75, the auctioneer said, scanning the crowd. Do I have 80? Anyone? $75 going once, going twice. Someone near the front laughed. Not cruelly, exactly, but with the comfortable disbelief of a person watching someone else make a foolish decision. $75 for a locked box, a man muttered to his neighbor. Hope there's treasure in there. Another chuckle moved through the crowd. Sold, the auctioneer said flatly, and moved on to a box of old kitchen appliances before Marcus had even lowered his arm. Eskete. Erhale. Robert Hale. His father. A man he had not spoken to in over a decade. Marcus had been 11 years old when his father shipped out the second time. He remembered the morning clearly, the kitchen smelling like burnt coffee, his mother standing at the sink with her back to the room, his father crouching down to eye level with a look that was trying very hard to be calm. You're the man of the house, his father had said. The words even then felt borrowed from somewhere, like a line from a movie neither of them quite believed. But his father had said them anyway, because what else do you say to an 11-year-old when you don't know if you're coming back? When Marcus was 19, his father left again, not overseas this time, just gone. A note on the kitchen table. 2 sentences. No return address. No explanation. His mother held onto that note for years. Marcus never once asked to read it. Robert Hale died in 2019, in a VA hospital in Tucson, from complications Marcus only half understood even after the phone call. A nurse had found his emergency contact, an old form, pre-divorce, still listing Marcus's mother, and they'd reached Marcus through her. He'd driven down alone, arrived 4 hours too late, and stood in a hallway that smelled of disinfectant while a man in scrubs handed him a plastic bag of personal effects. A wallet. A watch with a cracked face. A folded photograph Marcus didn't look at until he reached the parking garage. It was a picture of himself at maybe 7 years old, sitting on his father's shoulders at some county fair, squinting into the sun, laughing at something off camera. His father had kept that photograph for 30 years and never once put it in an envelope. The footlocker sat on Marcus's garage floor for 3 days before he opened it. He told himself he was waiting for the right moment, but that wasn't quite honest. He was waiting to feel ready, and ready never came, so finally he stopped waiting for it. He'd bought a pair of bolt cutters, the lock was never going to yield to guessing, and they sat on the workbench next to the chest, waiting. He'd walk past it in the mornings, heading to his truck, and stop. Look at the name on the masking tape. Walk on. On the 4th morning he didn't walk on. He couldn't anymore. He cut the lock, lifted the hasp, and slowly opened the lid. The smell hit him first, old canvas and something faintly chemical, like mothballs dissolved by time. Then the contents came into focus. Neatly packed, the way only a soldier packs things. Efficient, deliberate, nothing wasted. A set of dress uniform items, carefully folded with precision. A handful of service ribbons in a small plastic bag, labeled in his father's handwriting. A field manual, its cover worn soft as cloth. A pocket Bible with a broken spine, dozens of pages dog-eared. At the bottom, beneath a layer of old OD green cloth, a showbox. Inside the showbox, Letters. 41 of them. Marcus sat down on the garage floor and began to read. His father had written to him. For 13 years, his father had written to him, and never sent a single letter. Marcus read them all in order, on the garage floor, as the morning light moved across the concrete. He did not stop for breakfast. He did not check his phone. The early letters were stiff, the same borrowed language as that morning in the kitchen. I hope you're doing well in school. I hope you're being good for your mother. But somewhere around 2002 the stiffness started to loosen, the way ice loosens in spring without any single moment you can point to. His father wrote about things Marcus had no memory of being told. He wrote about guilt. He wrote about a specific day in a place he didn't name where something happened that he couldn't stop happening, and how he'd carried that day every moment since. He wrote about Marcus's mother with a quiet tenderness that was hard to read, because it was so clearly the tenderness of a man who understood too late what he'd walked away from. He wrote, I keep starting to call you. I get as far as dialing and then I put the phone down. I don't know what I would say. I don't know if you'd want to hear it. I keep thinking I'll get myself right first, and then I'll call. I've been thinking that for years. He wrote, I have a photograph of you at the county fair. You're on my shoulders. You're laughing at something. I can't remember what now, and it kills me that I can't remember. You look so happy. I think I need you to know that I kept that photograph every day. I think I need you to know that I thought about you every day. I know that probably doesn't mean much when I wasn't there, but it's true. The last letter was dated March 2011. By then, Marcus was 33. His father wrote, I think this is the last one of these I'll write. Not because I'm giving up on you. I want you to know that, if you ever somehow read this. I'm not giving up. I think I just finally have to accept that I made choices and choices of weight and I don't get to put that weight down just because it's heavy. I love you. I should have said that more. I should have said it every day. I'm sorry I didn't. Marcus sat on the garage floor for a long time after he finished the last letter. Then he got up, went inside, washed his face, and called his own son, 14 years old, living with Marcus's ex-wife 40 minutes away, probably still asleep on a Saturday morning. His son answered on the fourth ring, voice still thick with sleep. Dad, it's like 8 in the morning. I know, Marcus said. I just wanted to call. Yeah, Marcus said. Everything's okay. I just wanted to hear your voice. He stood quietly in his kitchen for a moment after he hung up, looking out the window at nothing in particular. The garage door was still open. He could see the Footlocker from where he stood. $75. The crowd had laughed because a locked box with no visible value was a bad bet. They weren't wrong about that. That's the gamble. You pay for what you can't see. Sometimes it's junk. Sometimes it's a rusted lock and 41 unsent letters and the long, slow echo of a man who loved you from a distance he couldn't close and left everything he meant to say in a chest with your family's name on the lid. Sometimes it's worth far more than you'll ever know to count.